Christmas has this curious power to transform everything around us. The streets change their scent, taking on the aroma of cinnamon and pine. Windows fill with light, and even the cold, which is usually uncomfortable, becomes part of the decoration. And it doesn't matter if you're in the middle of a European snowstorm or under the scorching Caribbean sun. When December arrives, the whole world seems to fall into the same rhythm. But in some places, Christmas goes far beyond twinkling lights and background music. It becomes a true spectacle, a lively celebration full of history, culture, flavors, and settings that seem straight out of fairy tales. That's why, already in the Christmas spirit, Bello Mundo will take you on a magical journey through the most beautiful places in the world at Christmas. Number 1. Copenhagen, Denmark. Starting our list, we go straight to Europe, where Christmas is synonymous with hygge, a Danish word that defines that feeling of coziness, comfort, and well-being. In December, Copenhagen seems made for this. Pedestrian streets, such as Strøget, are covered with pine arches with red hearts hanging from them, and stores light real candles in their windows, maintaining the tradition of illuminating everything in a soft and welcoming way. The most famous spot is Tivoli Gardens, Europe's oldest amusement park still in operation, founded in 1843. At Christmas, it becomes a fairy tale illuminated by millions of lights, with markets, reindeer, bonfires, and even artificial snow. Visitors drink glögg, mulled wine with almonds and raisins, while strolling among the wooden huts or watching choirs in the bandstand. It is the perfect translation of the hygge spirit. Another must-see is Nyhavn, the famous canal with colorful houses, which hosts a Christmas market full of typical foods. Copenhagen also shines with concerts in historic churches and a giant tree in King's Square. Christmas here is a nice feeling of being at home, even when walking through the cold streets of the city. Number 2. Singapore. Singapore proves that the Christmas spirit goes well with equatorial heat. The city-state, one of the smallest countries in the world, is known for its impeccable organization, modern architecture, and urban luxury. And when December arrives, all of this is transformed into a great spectacle of lights. The center of the celebrations is Orchard Road, the city's main shopping avenue, where the most famous shopping malls and hotels are located. Every year, it becomes the stage for Christmas on a great street, a local tradition that covers miles of lampposts and trees with millions of colorful lights. LED tunnels flash to the rhythm of Christmas songs, shop windows move with animations, and traffic slows down just so everyone can enjoy the light show. Shopping malls engage in friendly competition to see who can put up the most impressive decorations. Inside Ion Orchard, one of Asia's most luxurious shopping centers, a Christmas tree over 20 meters tall has been erected, all lit up like a lighthouse. And in front of it, twice a night, there is scenic snow that enchants adults and children alike. At Gardens by the Bay, the futuristic park famous for its metal trees called Super Trees, the Christmas Wonderland event takes place, with projections, a Ferris wheel, food stalls, and live music. There it is common to see tourists holding a glass of Glühwein, a type of mulled wine typical of Germany, and a sati skewer, which is nothing more than Malaysian-style grilled meat. Without cold weather, but with lots of light, Singapore delivers a modern, vibrant, and multicultural Christmas, a tropical celebration that blends tradition and technology like no other place. Number 3. Hong Kong, China. Still in Asia, our next destination is Hong Kong, a special administrative region of China known for its skyscrapers and fast pace that blends Eastern tradition and British influence. During Christmas, the city is transformed into a visual spectacle that makes the concrete seem to glow. The party starts at Victoria Harbour, the famous bay that separates the main island from the Kowloon district on the mainland. Every night, the Symphony of Lights takes place, a synchronized show of lasers, spotlights, and projections that illuminate dozens of buildings. In December, the show takes on a Christmas theme, with images of Santa Claus, snowflakes, and digital trees dancing on the facades. The reflection in the waters of the harbor creates a scene that looks like something out of a futuristic movie. On the streets, the highlight is Tsim Sha Tsui, a commercial district known for its shopping malls and luxury hotels. The facades become illuminated panels, and the shop windows display decorations so elaborate that they attract crowds every year. Another must-see is the Stanley Christmas Market, a fair setup in the coastal area of Stanley, where wooden stalls recreate the style of German markets. There you can find handicrafts, typical foods, and Christmas souvenirs, all with a European touch. And by the sea, on Avenida das Estrelas, the boardwalk inspired by the Hollywood Walk of Fame, families walk around admiring the lights. It's a spectacular sight. Number 4. North Pole, United States. It sounds like a joke, but there really is a town called North Pole in the state of Alaska in the United States. And the most curious thing is that it celebrates Christmas all year round. As soon as visitors arrive, they are greeted by streets with names like Santa Claus Lane and Kris Kringle Drive, both tributes to Santa Claus. The lampposts are painted like red and white striped candy canes, and the air is constantly filled with the smell of cookies and hot chocolate. It's as if time has stopped just to preserve the magic of childhood. The heart of the city is Santa Claus House, a mix of themed store, Santa Claus post office, and tourist attraction. It has been around since 1952 and is open all year round. Inside, there are garlands, toys, souvenirs, and the world's largest statue of Santa Claus, standing over 12 meters tall. Every Christmas, Santa Claus House receives hundreds of thousands of letters from children around the world. During your visit, you can order a letter. Each letter includes a note on letterhead, the same since the 1960s, a $1 coin with Santa Claus's image, a photo of him, and a sticker with the phrase, "I'm on Santa's list of good children." During the festival called Christmas in Ice, sculptors transform blocks of ice into reindeer, sleighs, and sparkling trees. It is common to see families gathered around bonfires, drinking hot cider and watching the northern lights, a natural phenomenon that paints the sky green and purple on winter nights. The town, with just over 2,000 residents, breathes Christmas in every detail, from lampposts to shop windows. Number 5. Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. We continue our journey through Uncle Sam's land and arrive in Bethlehem, a charming town in the state of Pennsylvania. It was founded on December 24th, 1741, by Moravian missionaries, a Christian group from Central Europe who named the place after the biblical city where Jesus was born. Since then, Christmas has become part of the local DNA. In 1937, the city officially earned the title of Christmas Town of the United States, and it's easy to see why. During Advent, the season leading up to Christmas, the historic houses in the center are decorated with lit candles in the windows, a Moravian tradition symbolizing welcome. At night, it seems as if each facade whispers ancient stories, and high on a hill, an illuminated star called the Star of Bethlehem shines every night, visible from miles away. The city is also famous for its Christmas markets inspired by German fairs. One of them is the Christmas City Village, which takes over the main street with wooden chalets selling local crafts, traditional decorations, and snacks. The other is the Christkindlmarkt, a large indoor event that has been awarded as one of the best in the country by travel magazines, as one of the best Christmas markets in the country. There you can find everything: pretzels, apple strudel, grilled sausage, typical Moravian cakes, and decorated cookies. The smell of cinnamon, nutmeg, and hot chocolate fills the air. Bethlehem also preserves unique Christmas traditions, such as the Putz, which is a miniature nativity scene assembled with moss, little houses, and wooden figures, depicting scenes from the story of the birth of Christ. In some churches, it is possible to participate in services called Love Feast, where the faithful share coffee with sweet rolls, celebrating unity and faith to the sound of Christmas carols. Each lamppost has its holly wreath, shop windows are decorated with enchanting scenes, and the whole city gets into the spirit of a simpler but meaningful Christmas, the kind that warms the soul. Number 6. Montreal, Canada. Now arriving in Canada, it's time to visit Montreal, a city that blends French charm with North American energy and becomes even more enchanting when Christmas arrives. Walking through Vieux-Montréal, the historic district founded in the 18th century, is like stepping into a fairy tale. The cobblestone streets are covered with snow, the stone facades are adorned with golden lights, and the air smells of hot chocolate and cinnamon. At night, the center becomes a movie set, with snowflakes falling gently while garlands and illuminated trees spread across squares and balconies. Place Jacques-Cartier, the main square in the old town, is home to community bonfires and stalls selling hot drinks such as maple latte, coffee made with the famous Canadian maple syrup. The Quartier Petit Champlain, known for its shops and galleries, is filled with French Christmas music and street performers dressed as Santa Claus. One of the highlights is the Grand Marché de Noël, the large Christmas market held in downtown Montreal, known for its theaters, squares, and cultural spaces. During this season, the place is transformed into an open-air village with wooden chalets, handmade products, and traditional foods, sugar-coated donuts, and traditional European mulled wine. Another beloved spot is the Village de Noël, one of the oldest and most traditional public markets in the city. It's the kind of place that mixes the community atmosphere of a neighborhood with European Christmas charm, perfect for those who want to experience Christmas in a more intimate and welcoming way. Number 7. Quebec, Canada. If Montreal enchants, Quebec is a true European Christmas village on American soil. The city, capital of the province of the same name, is surrounded by historic walls and preserves 18th century French architecture. Walking through the old neighborhood known as Vieux Québec is like stepping into a Christmas story. Snow-covered roofs, lanterns lighting narrow streets, and red garlands on stone doors make up a scene that looks like something out of a movie. The heart of the celebration is the German Christmas market, called Marché de Noël Allemand, set up in the city's central squares. There are over 100 wooden kiosks with twinkling lights and stalls selling decorations, toys, and traditional foods. The aroma of bratwurst, a grilled German sausage, mingles with the scent of Stollen, a sweet Christmas bread filled with dried fruit, and the warmth of mulled wine served in colorful mugs. There are choir performances, folk dances, and even European characters such as Saint Nicholas and Krampus, who entertain visitors on the snow-covered streets. Further on is the Petit Champlain neighborhood, one of the oldest areas in the country, with decorated shops and illuminated staircases. From the Pierre Dugas de Mont terrace, a viewpoint located above the old town, the panoramic view is breathtaking. The imposing Chateau Frontenac, a historic hotel and a symbol of Quebec, looks like a snow-covered castle with its illuminated towers. And to top it off, the Notre Dame Basilica and neighboring squares host choirs and Christmas masses in French. Quebec delivers Christmas in its purest form, historic, welcoming, and magical. Number 8. Dublin, Ireland. We arrive in Dublin, the vibrant capital of Ireland, where Christmas is celebrated with lots of music, joy, and that human warmth typical of the Irish. In December, the historic center is filled with lights, and the atmosphere is pure enchantment. Grafton Street, the city's most famous shopping street, becomes a golden corridor of garlands and twinkling lights. From above, neon signs wish Nolig Shona Duit, which means Merry Christmas in Irish. The windows of Brown Thomas, the country's most traditional department store, are a spectacle in themselves, with Christmas scenes that make the public stop to admire them. But what really defines Christmas in Dublin are the buskers, the street musicians playing Christmas carols. Among them is Bono Vox, the lead singer of the band U2, who often makes impromptu charity performances, attracting crowds. It's the kind of moment that mixes art, solidarity, and that chaotic street charm that only Dublin has. St. Stephen's Green, one of the oldest parks in the city, is home to the main Christmas market. The stalls sell traditional knitwear, jewelry with Celtic symbols, and crystal decorations handmade in Ireland. Among the most popular foods are Irish Christmas pudding, made with fruit and whiskey, mince pies, which are small sweet pies, and hot spiced cider, a classic drink for cold days. And of course, there is no Christmas in Dublin without the pubs. With lit fireplaces, live music, and lively conversation, they become the city's meeting place. Number 9. Edinburgh, Scotland. Few cities are as suited to this time of year as the capital, Edinburgh. Its dark stone buildings, Gothic towers, and narrow alleys seem to have been made for snow and colorful lights. The heart of the festivities is Princes Street Gardens, the large park at the foot of Edinburgh Castle, one of the country's most famous landmarks. This is where the main Christmas market is held, set up in European style, with stalls selling Scottish crafts and traditional sweets. The air is filled with the smell of shortbread, the traditional Scottish butter cookie, and hot whiskey toddy, a hot drink made with whiskey, honey, and spices. It's the Scottish way of warming up in the cold. The park also features an illuminated Ferris wheel, an antique carousel, and an outdoor skating rink, all accompanied by music played on bagpipes, a symbol of Scottish culture. From there you can see the Starflyer, a flying chair ride that spins high above and offers spectacular views of the illuminated city. During the month of December, Edinburgh Castle hosts Christmas projections that cover its walls with colorful images of snowflakes and candles. Holyrood House Palace, the official residence of the King in Scotland, usually opens an exhibition showing what Christmas was like for the royal family. With decorated tables, concerts, and guided tours of the halls filled with trees and garlands, Edinburgh lives Christmas with soul. Number 10. Berlin, Germany. In Berlin, Christmas is taken seriously. The German capital is transformed into a veritable paradise of lights, smells, and flavors, hosting more than 80 Christmas markets scattered throughout the city. Each neighborhood has its own. Some are classic and full of tradition, others are modern and alternative, and all carry that welcoming atmosphere typical of German culture. One of the best known is in Alexanderplatz, a large square in the city center, where wooden stalls sell handicrafts, toys, and traditional foods. The air is filled with the smell of bratwurst, the traditional German grilled sausage, and Kartoffelpuffer, potato pancakes served with applesauce. All this is accompanied by Glühwein, mulled wine with spices, served steaming in colorful mugs. From there, you can climb the Ferris wheel and see the illuminated TV tower high above. Another must-see is the Gendarmenmarkt Market, located between historic buildings such as the German and French cathedrals and the Concert House, the city's concert hall. At night, watching a choir inside these cathedrals and then going out to the illuminated market is a spine-tingling experience. The city's decorations are another spectacle. On Unter den Linden, one of Berlin's most important avenues, a huge Christmas tree is placed right in front of the Brandenburg Gate, Germany's most famous monument. And there begins the parade of lights that covers the entire city with sparkle and enchantment. Number 11. Prague, Czech Republic. The capital of the Czech Republic, famous for its Gothic and Baroque architecture, already looks like something out of a fairy tale. But in December, it becomes even more enchanting. The towers of the old town are lit up with golden lights, the sound of bells mingles with choirs, and the frosty air is filled with the smell of cinnamon and mulled wine. The highlight is the market in the old town square, called Staroměstské náměstí in Czech. In the center of the square stands a giant tree, illuminated with thousands of golden lights, surrounded by wooden stalls selling handicrafts and traditional foods. There you will find trdelníky, sweet pastries rolled and baked over charcoal with sugar and cinnamon, and svařák, the local mulled wine with spices. There is also medovina, a sweet mead served hot, as well as grilled sausages and the famous Prague ham, roasted on the spot. The fairs display blown glass decorations, a tradition in Bohemia, a region famous for its crystal and handmade puppets. On the central stage, choirs sing Christmas carols such as Ticha Noc, the Czech version of Silent Night. Everything takes place at the foot of the medieval astronomical clock, one of the symbols of the city. And in homes and museums, wooden nativity scenes, called Bethlehem, appear. In Prague, it is not Santa Claus who brings the gifts, but the baby Jesus, known as Ježíšek. He appears in decorations and stories told to children, reinforcing the more spiritual side of the holiday. With snow on the rooftops, choirs in the squares, and the aroma of spices in the air, Prague offers a Christmas that seems straight out of a dream, a medieval tale illuminated by golden lights and smiles warmed by mulled wine. Number 12. Strasbourg, France. In eastern France, there is a city that takes Christmas so seriously that it has earned the nickname Capitale de Noël, the capital of Christmas. We are talking about Strasbourg. Since the 16th century, it has been home to Christkindlesmarkt, one of the oldest Christmas markets in Europe. Every December, the historic center is transformed into a spectacle of lights, smells, and sounds. The heart of the celebrations is Cathedral Square, dominated by Strasbourg Cathedral. In front of it, a gigantic Christmas tree, almost 30 meters tall, becomes the most photographed spot in the city. There, the air is filled with the aroma of mulled wine with spices, known as vin chaud, and pain d'épices, the typical gingerbread of Alsace, the region where Strasbourg is located. The streets of Petite France, the old neighborhood cut by canals, become a fairy tale setting. The half-timbered houses are decorated with red bows, pine garlands, and golden lights. Each shop window becomes a work of art, and there is even an informal competition among merchants to see who can decorate the best. Other squares complete the festivities. Place Broglie, for example, hosts the most traditional market, while Place Kléber hosts the Village du Partage, a solidarity village with charitable activities. There are also markets dedicated to local cuisine, with highlights including bredels, Christmas cookies made with almonds and anise, and manala, a sweet bread shaped like a doll. With music, lights, and tradition on every corner, Strasbourg is the perfect picture of a European Christmas, elegant, welcoming, and absolutely unforgettable. Number 13. Paris, France. Paris needs no introduction, but at Christmas it surpasses itself. The City of Light lives up to its nickname and lights up its magic from November to January, when avenues and monuments are adorned with millions of lights, and the whole city looks like a movie set. The Champs-Élysées, Paris' most famous avenue, becomes a golden tunnel. The trees on both sides shine like stars, and in the background, the Eiffel Tower flashes in sync. Every year, the lighting ceremony is an event in itself, with a soundtrack, countdown, and lots of excitement. The big department stores also compete for the title of Most Beautiful Window Display and set up Christmas scenes that look like something out of a dream. The Christmas markets, called Marché de Noël, complete the party. The most central one is in the Tuileries Gardens, next to the Louvre Museum. There, a Ferris wheel, a skating rink, and dozens of chalets serve delicacies such as vin chaud, mulled wine with spices, and warm crepes. Another charming market takes place in Montmartre, at the foot of the Sacré-Cœur Basilica, with cheeses, wines, and local crafts. In churches, Christmas concerts fill the air with classical music, and in the streets, the smell of caramelized chestnuts and hot chocolate completes the scene. This is Paris at Christmas: light, art, flavor, and romance. A spectacle of elegance that shows why it remains the most enchanting city in the world. Number 14. London, England. London is one of the most incredible cities in the world to experience Christmas. When December arrives, the British capital is transformed into a spectacle of light and tradition. Oxford Street and Regent Street, famous for their shops, are adorned with millions of colorful lights. Regent Street, for example, is decorated with giant luminous angels that seem to float above the red buses. It's a scene worthy of the movies. The shop windows also become attractions. Each window is a show in itself, with animated dolls, artificial snow, and scenes inspired by classic tales. In Hyde Park, one of the city's largest parks, Winter Wonderland takes place, a Christmas theme park with a Ferris wheel, ice rinks, rides, and shows. There is even a Bavarian village, the Bavarian Village, which serves beer in huge mugs and typical German dishes. It is the heart of modern Christmas in London. But the city also preserves its traditional side. The giant tree in Trafalgar Square, a gift from Norway since the end of World War II, is lit in a public ceremony accompanied by choirs. Between lights, music, and cozy pubs, London delivers a complete Christmas, vibrant, elegant, and with that British charm that blends the old and the new in just the right measure. Number 15. Tokyo, Japan. Even without a Christian tradition, Japan has turned Christmas into a visual spectacle. In Tokyo, each neighborhood competes to see who can create the most impressive light show. The most famous is the Blue Cave Shibuya, a tunnel almost a kilometer long, covered with millions of blue lights, creating a hypnotic scene. When the lights come on, the audience applauds. In Roppongi Hills, one of the most elegant areas of the city, there is a Christmas market inspired by German fairs, with wooden stalls selling handicrafts, sausages, pretzels, and mulled wine. Right next door, Keikizaka Street is lined with hundreds of trees, illuminated with white and blue lights, with Tokyo Tower in the background, one of the most photogenic views in the city. Disney parks also join in the festivities. Tokyo Disneyland and Disney Sea put on themed parades, fireworks, and special musical shows. It's a perfect blend of fantasy and Japanese technology that is well worth experiencing. Number 16. Rome and the Vatican. In Rome, Christmas is celebrated with intensity. The city breathes history and faith, and no time of year reflects this better than December. The heart of the celebrations is in St. Peter's Square in the Vatican. The center of the Catholic Church is one of the most symbolic places on the planet. There, a giant tree is set up every year next to St. Peter's Basilica, and a life-size nativity scene is displayed, with handmade figures from various regions of Italy. At night, the lighting makes everything even more solemn, and on Christmas Eve, thousands of people gather to attend Mass celebrated by the Pope, one of the most exciting moments of the year. Outside the Vatican, Rome enters into a festive mood. The squares are lit up, and streets such as Via del Corso and Piazza Venezia are adorned with curtains of light. The liveliest spot is the market in Piazza Navona, one of the most beautiful Baroque squares in the city. There, stalls sell traditional sweets such as panettone, torrone, and pandoro, as well as toys, decorations, and mini nativity scenes. There is a carousel, street performers, and even the Befana, a character from Italian folklore who brings sweets to children on Three Kings Day. Meanwhile, historic churches hold Christmas concerts and exhibitions of handmade nativity scenes from around the world. Amidst bells, lights, and the smell of roasted chestnuts, Rome manages to naturally combine the sacred and the festive. Number 17. Vienna, Austria. Vienna is already synonymous with elegance and tradition, and at Christmas this sophistication blends with the charm of Advent markets, classical music, and the sweet smells coming from bakeries. Everything takes on a special glow. The city's most famous market is at Rathausplatz, the square in front of City Hall, where an illuminated portal welcomes visitors. Inside, there are over 100 stalls selling traditional crafts, decorated gingerbread cookies, and hot drinks such as Glühwein, mulled wine served piping hot, all wrapped up in red and gold lights that create a magical atmosphere. Children skate on the ice next to the park and visit the so-called Tree of Hearts, a large tree full of bright red decorations, a symbol of affection and unity. Another highlight is the market at Schönbrunn Palace, the former imperial residence of the Habsburgs. There, in addition to the fascinating and enchanting decorations, classical music plays all the time. The Spittelberg market, set up in narrow 18th century alleys, is more intimate, perfect for those looking for unique gifts, such as handmade decorations and typical Austrian foods, such as Käsespätzle, a pasta with melted cheese. During Advent, churches and theaters offer Christmas concerts featuring works by Mozart and Strauss. The tradition of nativity scenes is also very strong. Many are displayed in museums and churches and have an impressive wealth of detail. The typical Christmas dinner is roast goose with red cabbage and potato dumplings, followed by sweets such as vanilla kipferl, a moon-shaped vanilla cookie, and stollen, a sweet bread filled with dried fruit. Even historic cafes, such as Café Central, get into the spirit by serving cakes decorated with marzipan pine trees. Vienna knows how to balance tradition and charm like few other cities. And Christmas there tastes like living history, with sugar and music in the air. Number 18. Zurich, Switzerland. Zurich is Switzerland's largest city, and at Christmas it takes on an air of elegant tranquility, very much in the Swiss style. The cold sets the tone, but the city warms up with lights, smells, and sounds that transform the streets into winter catwalks. In the historic center, old facades are adorned with golden decorations, shop windows display chocolate sculptures, and illuminated stained glass windows shine behind the icy mist. One of the highlights is the Christmas market set up inside the central train station, the Hauptbahnhof. There, hundreds of stalls sell handmade products, traditional sweets, and the famous mulled wine with spices. In the middle of the lobby, a giant Christmas tree is decorated, shining under the dome of the building. But what enchants visitors the most is the Singing Christmas Tree, a pine tree-shaped stage where children dressed as elves and angels sing Christmas carols. The combination of singing and the smell of caramelized almonds thrills passers-by. To complete the experience, Zurich offers themed trams with Santa Claus on board, light trails around the lake, and cafes serving cheese fondue and hot chocolate with whipped cream, two classics of Swiss cuisine. It is a sweet, quiet, and cozy Christmas, just as one would expect from a country known for precision, chocolate, and snow. Number 19. New York, United States. If there is one place that symbolizes Christmas, it is New York. In December, the city that never sleeps is transformed into a real Christmas movie set, complete with a skating rink, decorated shop windows, choirs, and lights everywhere. The biggest symbol is the tree at Rockefeller Center. It is usually about 25 meters high, covered with more than 50,000 lights, and crowned with a Swarovski crystal star. The lighting of the tree is a huge event, with live music and TV coverage. Just below, the ice rink becomes one of the most photographed postcards of the city, and everything around it gets into the spirit. Fifth Avenue is decorated with elaborate decorations, and store windows become attractions. Saks Fifth Avenue, for example, puts on synchronized light shows on its facade, while Macy's sets up Santaland, where Santa Claus welcomes children in enchanted settings. Other must-see spots include Bryant Park, Winter Village, a Christmas market with stalls, an ice rink, and gourmet hot chocolate, and Central Park, where you can take a carriage ride or skate with a view of the skyline. There is also live music, Christmas gospel in Harlem, concerts in churches, and of course, food, warm pretzels, roasted chestnuts, eggnog, and apple pie in diners open all night. It is a grand, cinematic Christmas full of magic, the kind of Christmas we grow up dreaming of experiencing one day. Number 20. Lapland, Rovaniemi, Finland. At the top of our ranking, nothing beats Christmas in the far north of Finland, more precisely in Rovaniemi, a city nestled in the Arctic Circle and officially recognized as the birthplace of Santa Claus. There, everything evokes the magic of the holiday season, from the sky lit up by the northern lights to the landscapes covered in pristine snow. The city's main symbol is Santa Claus Village, a year-round theme village where it's Christmas every season. There you can cross the Arctic Circle line marked on the ground, visit Santa Claus's official post office, and even meet him in person, or rather, Joulupukki, as he is called in Finnish. In his cozy wooden house decorated with a fireplace, maps, and toys, he welcomes visitors with a warm smile. Children leave fascinated, adults thrilled. But this enchanted corner of the planet goes beyond children's imagination. Outside, you can board a reindeer-drawn sleigh, gliding through snowy forests to the sound of bells in the air. Or, if you prefer more speed, husky-drawn sleds offer an exciting ride through the icy trails. There are also snowmobiles to cross frozen lakes, and even experiences with the Sami, the local indigenous people who share traditions and serve hot drinks in their tents called kota. At night, when the polar sky darkens, the spectacle of the northern lights begins. Green, violet, and golden bands dance silently over the trees. It is difficult to put into words what it feels like to see that. Goosebumps, peace, a desire to stay there forever. In wooden cabins heated by fireplaces, dinner brings strong and comforting flavors. Reindeer stew with mashed potatoes and red fruit sauce, wood-smoked salmon, lipa justo with blackberry jam, and glogi, mulled wine with spices, almonds, and raisins. Everything is served by candlelight. The whole city is illuminated with a calm, serene, almost sacred aura. It's as if time stands still and childhood returns. Spending Christmas in this corner of Scandinavia is not just visiting a destination. It's living a winter fairy tale where fantasy takes shape, the snow smells like firewood, and the Christmas spirit becomes real. A magical refuge that makes any adult believe in magic again. And so we end this journey through the most magical places in the world when Christmas comes. Now tell us, which of these places do you dream of visiting at Christmas? Or which one surprised you the most? Leave your comment below and share this video with those who also love this time of year. And if you enjoyed this tour, you know what to do. Leave a like, subscribe to the Bello Mundo channel, and activate the bell so you don't miss the next videos. We still have many beautiful trips to take together. Merry Christmas and see you on the next journey.